Welcome to Spiritual Sanctuary, Wisdom for the Divine Feminine. I'm your host, Bertena, and I'm so grateful that you're here. This is a space created for slowing down, for remembering who you are beneath the noise, and for reconnecting with the sacred wisdom that already lives within you. Before we begin, I want to offer a heartfelt thanks to our sponsor, Cosmic Connections. Their support for this podcast and this community is wonderful. You can receive 10% off your online purchase at yourcosmicconnections.com with the code Bertena Podcast 10. Yourcosmicconnections.com, Bertena, Bertena, Podcast 10. It's a beautiful way to support both your spiritual practice and the sanctuary, as well as a small business that I love so much. Now, wherever you are, maybe you're walking or resting or driving or just simply breathing, I invite you to gently step into the sanctuary with me. Let your shoulders soften, let your breath deepen, and there's nothing that you need to become or to be fixed. You've arrived at a sacred space. So let's begin. Welcome, everybody, to Spiritual Sanctuary. My name is Bertena, and I am your host today. Today, we're going to talk about embodying sound. We are doing this particularly for the fact that I am teaching a class this weekend at Cosmic Connections, and even though I was a pom-pom girl and dance team coach, and I teach yoga, and I am do Kundalini yoga, all of that. I'm still an older, I'm 54, plus size female. And even when I was younger and I was never super, super skinny, I was actually what I would consider almost perfect in regards to being like hourglass shape. But the top was a little bigger, this was smaller, and the bottom was a little bigger, and it was perfect. But I never really felt comfortable in my body. Really, I didn't until I started doing yoga and doing yoga teacher training with my teacher, Mary, at White Crow Yoga. I've always danced, but it would be an escape. It would always have to be dark. It would have to be in a place where maybe I was a little bit too comfortable sometimes. I could never sing. I love to sing, but I could never sing. My son would actually have me do rock band with him on certain parts because he said that my voice was so high and so bad that it would help hit the notes that he couldn't. Gotta love him. Gotta love how kids are. But what I want to do is have you all just take a moment and ground into where you are. And I want to tell you a priestess story. It's a story of listening and remembering and coming home to your body. So I want you to get comfortable. So, story time. There's a moment, and most of us know it, when the world becomes too loud and we feel unheard. That can be when you're younger, that can be when you're a teenager, that can be when you're an adult in a relationship. It's a moment when the body is carrying more than it can explain. When the breath feels really shallow, you start having that panic. You can't breathe. Your jaw begins to tight, your chest just feels really guarded, and your voice goes quiet. Not because you don't have anything to say, but it's because we've learned over and over time to hold it in. We've told you're too loud, you're too much, you talk too much, you think you know everything. And that's when the story begins. When a body that's learned to be strong, with a body that's learned to be strong, a body that has learned to perform and a body that's learned to survive. But yet somewhere underneath all of that, a body that remembers to move freely. And how to sound and how to speak and how to move without apology. And how to listen. Okay. I want you to imagine a space. Not a perfect place. Not a polished space, but a soft one. Maybe a place where your lights are low. The air feels really cool, safe. There's no stage. There's no audience. And there's no expectation. There's going to be mats on the floor, blankets nearby, and ribbons folded gently in a basket. Eye pillows are going to be there, just like invitations to help you cut out the world. Now, this is going to be a place where nothing is demanded of you. It's a place where you're invited to arrive exactly how you are. You come in, you're carrying the day with you, all the responsibilities, all the weight, all the noise, all the thing. And for the first time in a while, I'm not going to ask you to explain anything. You don't have to explain yourself. You don't have to say a word. The music will begin softly, not to lead you and not to tell you what to do, but enough so that your nervous system knows it's safe to soften. Your body will notice before your mind does. There's a small shift in the shoulders, a deeper breath, and maybe even just a little sway back and forth that happens without permission. And this is how somatic movement begins, not with instructions, but with just listening. There's absolutely no choreography here. There's no right way to move, there's no wrong way to sound, and no expectations to participate in any particular way. You can sit, you can lie down, you can rest, and you notice that something inside you begins to get very excited. It just, and then you just exhale. Because for once, you're not asked to get something right. You're not asked to be perfect. And as the music begins to deepen, something ancient stirs. The body remembers the rhythm. The body remembers the vibration. And your body remembers that sound that once belonged to everyone. Before singing was judged, before voices were corrected, and before movement was disciplined. There were circles. There were fires. There were bodies moving together under moonlight. And there were voices that were rising, imperfect, powerful, and real. You don't try to make a sound when you're in here. The sound finds you. A hum slips out on the exhale. A tune. A vibration begins to move in your chest, and a breath becomes audible. No one flinches, and no one corrects you, and no one looks away, because this space understands something that's really important. Sound is not performance. It is an expression. It is a release. You feel it now. The vibrations begin to move in your bones. The way breath softens places that you didn't know you were hiding, and the way the body begins to trust itself again. Your nervous system settles. But not because anyone told it to, but because your body feels safe enough to do so. This is how healing happens. Quietly, gently, and without force. At the end, I offer you ribbons. Not as props, but extensions of the body. You take one or two, or maybe none at all. But if you do, you notice how it responds to even the smallest movement. A flick of the wrist, A slow circle, a little sway. The ribbon teaches you something. It teaches you that the movement doesn't have to be big to be meaningful. The expressions don't have to be loud to be true. And that when you're playing, it's not frivolous, it is restorative. You smile without realizing it. You're having fun. This, ladies, is priestess work. Not because it looks mystical, but because it is embodied. The body becomes the altar. The breath becomes the prayer. And the sound becomes the invocation. There's no deity to impress and there's no perfection to achieve. Just only presence and only listening. And in trusting this, something returns. Joy and relief. A sense that in your body, this is your home. This is your body. This is your temple. Nothing was fixed because nothing needed to be. As the class winds down, rest comes naturally. The bodies find the floor. Hands rest on bellies or hearts. Eye pillows dim the world. And for one moment, you're not doing, you're just being. This is what embodying sound offers. It's not a transformation through effort, and it is a remembering through gentleness. It's a return to the body as a place of wisdom, a return to sound as a source for safety, and a return to movement as a form of prayer. So when you eventually rise from that mat, you begin to carry something with you. Not something that you can necessarily name, but something that you can feel. A little more space, a little more softness, and a little more trust. And maybe a quiet knowing that your body has always known the way. You just have to honor the wisdom within you. I want to thank you for listening. I want to thank you for remembering, and I want to invite you to my somatic yoga classes on Tuesday evenings at 7 on Zoom, or to the in-person sound celebration that we have this weekend. Cosmic Connections are doing sound baths and chanting and dancing Friday, Saturday, maybe Sunday. And it's just going to be a lot of just embodying who we are. We get there in different ways. So continue to honor the wisdom that lives within you. Until next time, move gently, sound freely, and listen closely to what your body is whispering. As we begin to close our time together, I want to thank you for spending this sacred moment with me here at the Spiritual Sanctuary. If today's episode resonated with you, I invite you to leave a comment or share this episode with someone who may need a little sanctuary of their own. As a thank you, everyone who comments or shares is entered into a drawing from our sponsor, Cosmic Connections, and it's a beautiful way to keep the magic flowing beyond time and space. And if you're longing for deeper connection, more guidance, and updates on both our online and impersonal spiritual sanctuary gatherings, I invite you to stay in touch with me by signing up with my newsletter at bertena.org. That's BERTENA.org, where I share upcoming events, rituals, reflections, and offerings created just for this community. Until we meet again, please be gentle with yourself, trust your inner knowing, and remember, this sanctuary lives within you. Thank you for being here.